Welcome everyone to this exciting interview segment. Today we have the pleasure to sitting down again with Rhiannon Fish, star of the great American movie A Christmas Custard Proposal. Rhiannon takes on the role of the lead, Olivia. Join us as we delve into Rhiannon's insights into her character and the challenges of filming this movie. Thank you for being here today,
Thanks
Rhiannon.
for having me, Desiree. I love talking to you. You're such a pro at this, and I love your Christmas background. It's October. Who cares? It's Christmas time over on GAC.
It's a pleasure for me talking with you, Rhiannon. So,
Thank you.
can you tell us a little bit about your character in a custard proposal?
Well, what's so exciting about this movie is that it's a sequel. And so often when we do these movies, they're sort of like a one-off or a standalone. But to be able to come back and revisit these characters was so much fun. I really did feel like they had more story to tell. So it was just such an absolute privilege to be able to tell that story. And then it was also cool. So often when it's just the one movie on its own, it's like, go, go, go. We got to meet everybody and everything's happening so quickly. Because it was the sequel, it felt like we could all sort of settle into it and that each of the characters very much had their own arc. And it wasn't just so much about, the two main characters. There's just so much more story for everybody in this royal world that gets to unravel.
Great. And what can you tease about your character journey in this sequel?
What's so cool is that Olivia is having a bit of a tough time. And again, that's not always what we get to see if it's just a singular movie. We come in the second one and Olivia's struggling. She's got a lot on her plate. There's, of course, the sequel to the book that she's trying to write. And also, she's joining this royal world and she's finding her feet, not just in the royal world, but in her relationship with Alexander. They're also struggling a little bit. I think before I read the script, I had this idea in my head. I was like, okay, well, we're going to pick up exactly where we left off, and everything will be great with Olivia and Alexander. But we've told a very true story in that relationships have their ups and downs. And we opened this movie, and Olivia and Alexander are definitely having a little bit of a rocky time. And so it was really cool to see Olivia, I think, prioritize herself. That was my favorite part. The writer of this movie and director, he's so good at, he wants to tell, stories about women empowerment. And one of the writers also, there's two of them on the film. Her name's Kyra Bradshaw. She's very much wants to have a voice for women that also can hold their own. And I think we really see that in Royal. I know they show in the trailer, Alexander proposes and Olivia says no, which I thought was so brave of her. So to see her, yes, have a lot of love for Alexander, but at the core of it, she loves herself first. And I think that that's a really cool message to send, not just to women, but to everybody.
Yeah, great. So, in A Christmas Custard Proposal, you play Olivia, who gets swept away to a royal castle for the holidays. If you could spend Christmas anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
I like to go to Australia for Christmas. That's where my family is. I'm very excited. I'll have to talk to you after we do these. I've got two movies that I'm going to go do, both Hallmark movies, both adventure movies. So they're very different places in the world. We finish on December 25th. So Christmas Day is the day that we wrap. And then as soon as we're done that, I'm going to head straight over to Australia because that is, I think, family and whatever family means to you, whether that's, we can make our own family. And for me, that means going home to be with my family at Christmas time. So that's where I'll be. I'll be in Melbourne, Australia for sure.
Amazing. So, you and Mitchell Burke have such a great chemistry on screen. What was the most fun or memorable moment you shared while filming together?
Mitchell's great. I was talking about this recently. What's been so cool is to get to see come into his own. He's a lot younger than me. When we did the first movie, I think he was like 25, which is another cool aspect of this movie is that the woman's older, which we never really, it's always the guy that's older, usually often. But Olivia's a little bit of a cougar, which I like. And in that sense, though, it's been cool to see Mitchell just grow, and not just as an actor, but also as a person. I would consider him a very good friend. He's just a lovely, lovely person. And I think he's so great as the prince. And we have so much fun when we're on set together. It's been an absolute blast. I'm trying to think of what some of my favorite moments would be with Mitchell. Oh, and I will say when we shot, and I believe they've shown some of this scene, it's in one of the trailers where we go into this kind of Christmas, feels like a snow globe is the best way to describe it, but we're outside in like a gated little area, and there's a frozen swan and there's snow falling. We shot that on a soundstage, but it did feel very, very real and very romantic and very special. And the director asked both of us what songs we would like to dance to. So for one take, we danced to Tale as Old as Time by from Beauty and the Beast. You'll have to double check with Mitchell. Ask him what song he asked to play because it was beautiful. And that was the last scene we shot together for the sequel. And it feels like we have a very strong bond, not just with these characters, but also with each other. It's beautiful getting to work with him.
Great. So a little if Olivia could plan the perfect Christmas proposal, what
Whoa.
romantic or funny twist would you add to make it unforgettable?
My gosh, Desiree, this is such a good question because we actually shot an alternate ending. So
Oh,
I don't know which one is going to air on GAC, but there was one ending where it was very much written exactly the way Olivia would want it to be. I don't know if that's the one that they're going to air, but yeah, we'll talk afterwards for sure. Next time we catch up, and I'll describe to you Olivia's perfect proposal because we actually shot it, but I don't know if we're gonna see it.
if you had to choose a cozy Christmas at home with a hot cocoa or an extravagant royal castle Christmas like in Torovia?
First of all, I love how you say cocoa. That is my favorite thing. It's very, very cute. Um,
Thank
so
you.
I think, you know what I would like? I would like to combine those where it's like in that castle because it was magical. It was some incredible, extravagant government house in Australia that they let us shoot at. So it would be there, but then to bring all of our own traditions into it, which you sort of see with Olivia's family. That's like the playing the board games, the making of the crafts. I'd like to be in a location like that, but do all the things that are feel traditional to me and to my family.
Great. So in real life, how would you handle a royal family's tradition clashing with your own? Would you embrace the cows or stick to your guns?
Wow, another great question. I think that that's Olivia's, biggest obstacle is, and I think that that's an obstacle that a lot of us faced often, where we're put in these circumstances and then ultimately you have to stay true to yourself. That's the most important thing. So I think I like to believe that I would handle it like Olivia, where yes, she's very open to taking on these new traditions because she loves Alexander very, very much. But the most important thing is that she never wants to lose herself. And I think it's so cool that throughout the movie, we see her too. Like she's not giving up her career. Sometimes, Desiree, at the end of these movies, we see it's like, oh, she gave up everything she ever wanted and now she goes and is with a man. Like she still follows her dreams. And you can do that and also be with the person of your dreams. So I would handle it much like Olivia does.
Amazing. So if Olivia could give one piece of love advice to couples navigating holiday stress, what would it be?
One piece of holiday advice.
Of love advice. to cope
Oh,
and navigate the holiday stress.
to like how she's handling the stress?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, good question.
yeah.
I think we actually see her do it, and it's courtesy of Alexander. There's one moment where you see she's just completely overwhelmed, and he's like, "Do you want to get out of here?" And she's like, "Yeah, I do." Is that you can always, 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 no matter where you are, take that moment to either step out and be by yourself. Just take a second. Nobody's gonna mind, or with the person that you love, you are allowed to. And I know some of us feel that way at Christmas. It can be so overwhelming and there's so much going on. It's go, 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 go. But to take a second and to just stop and take a breath and be present, I think is the most important thing that you can do. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So, change of the subject.
Yeah.
If you had to cast yourself in another Christmas rom-com, what kind of character or love story would you love to dive into next?
I love Christmas movies. I really, really do. I think they're just absolutely magical. And we're so lucky to make these Hallmark movies or GAC movies because we get to live what feels like Christmas multiple times a year. So if I could cast myself in any Christmas movie, oh, maybe like one when we shot this movie, it was a heat wave, and we were of course wearing winter clothes. So I would shoot a movie where we are playing whatever season it is. That would be nice. So maybe I think sometimes people are scared to show like an Australian Christmas. Christmas has to be this winter wonderland, but the reality is that there's a whole other side of the world that lives a very tropical Christmas that is equally as magical. So I'd love to tell a Christmas story that maybe doesn't have a snowy backdrop, and maybe we've got like the beach, the pool, and a barbecue.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the last question, can you tease something about your next projects?
For sure. Oh, Desiree, I'm so excited. We leave next week.
Yeah,
Um, Two different Hallmark movies in two very, very different places in the world. And you know, my favorite movies are the adventure ones.
yeah.
It's the production company that I shot a Costa Rican romance with, which I truly had the best time of my life making that movie. So we're gonna go do that again in two different places. And I just, I think that I think what I'm excited most about these movies is to show the locations. I think that they do such a good job of trying their best to feel like we're grabbing the audience and taking them on an adventure to somewhere maybe where they haven't been. And that's the cool thing too about Christmas Castle Proposal is we're taking them somewhere where nobody's ever been because we made it up. Like it's not a real place. It's like stepping into a fairy tale. And I think it's so much fun to do that and to hopefully for the audience give them an element of feeling like they are able to escape and then come with us to these incredible places.
Amazing. We are looking forward to it. But for now, make
Yes,
sure to coach a Christmas castle proposal on Great American Christmas this Saturday night.
thank you so much, Desiree.
Thank you, Rhiannon, to join us today. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all for watching. Bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.